So, today we were all surprised by the intro for Steven Universe The Future, the sixth and final season, I guess you could say epilogue season for Steven Universe, which I'm glad the show isn't going to be run to the ground, but it's sad to see another one of the major shows that revitalized Cartoon Network finally go, but at least it's hopefully going out on a high note. So yeah, the intro didn't give us enough, but gave us so much to talk about at the same time. So we do see we see the diamonds there, we see the uncorrupted gems, we even see Spinel in that intro. But we also see, and this is the thing a lot of people are talking about, and this is, I guess we'll go into the meat of it, is all the, I guess you could say, villains that are going to be there. First and foremost, Jasper. Yeah, I had a feeling that Jasper was going to be there, but which sucks because there was, I'm wondering of where they're going to go with her, because it's obvious they're going to go with the wounded soldier kind of thing. I guess her finding out about Rose and Pink Diamond and Steven all being one and the same really just pushed her over the edge, and she just can't let go of that old war. So that's kind of the big thing, is that she's going to be a major driving force. I mean, maybe she'll see the light, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't keep a bad gem down. You really can't keep a bad gem down. So I'm really interested to see that, and how that's going to play out with Jasper. The one that got me interested more than the others was the fact that we do see White Diamond among the antagonists, but she's a shade of pink. Now, I don't think, no, it's not a clone of White Diamond or anything like that. And it's weird because people are like, wait, if White Diamond is still in the antagonist side, why is she on the good side too? Let me throw out this theory. And I don't know if people have thought of this already, but this is my theory as to why we see White on the good side and on the bad side. I think what it is that this is going to be how Steven Universe approaches mental illness. I think this is going to be a way for one of their ways, because they have done it before. I think this is one of their ways they're going to try to tackle mental illness for children. Reason being is because I think what it's going to represent is that White Diamond is having signs of bipolar. She's become bipolar. She's become unstable since, her, I guess you could say her imperfection, and now she has these bouts where she goes into a raving lunatic. I don't think she's doing, at least I don't think that she's doing this intentionally. I think it's more like, White is having these psychotic bouts, or just angry bouts, and Steven and the Diamonds have to, calm her down. I think that's kind of the thing, is that it's going to be their way of dealing with, Alzheimer's or bipolar depression. I think that's what she's having a hard time adjusting, and this pink version of White Diamond is kind of cracking on it. I wouldn't say it's like a Jekyll-Hyde kind of thing. I initially thought, oh, cool, a Jekyll-Hyde kind of thing. But I was like, no, I think it's something else. I really think it's something else in that regard. I think it's more like, she's not trying to hurt anyone intentionally. She's just mentally ill now. She's old. She's very old. She's, the stress of changing the Empire so quickly. 2 years could do a lot, 2 years for a diamond, I would imagine, is a blink of an eye. So, I say quickly in their term. So, it's obviously left a mental strain on her, and she wasn't exactly stable to begin with, let's be real, people. White was never exactly mentally stable to begin with. So, the fact that she is, she's probably cracking under the pressure, and that's a cool, and it's not like animation hasn't, especially shows with Rebecca Sugar, have not shied away from mental illness before. Case in point, Ice King. Simon was a representation of Alzheimer's, and and we saw how Marceline, and eventually even the rest of the cast, cared about Ice King and his how he was. He was still considered like an antagonist, but it was more like, okay, he's not doing it on purpose. We know why he acts like this. He's just, he's not well. So I like that. I really, I like that, and I think that's what they're going to try to do with White Diamond, is that they're going to try to explain, especially bipolar depression, to kids, like, hey, this is a thing, and maybe you go through it, or your parents go through it, or someone you know goes through it. It's not their fault, it's not your fault, it's just how some people are. So, I think that's what they're going for. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I'm kind of leaning towards, but again, I have no idea, but that's what I'm kind of leaning towards and hoping that it is. Because that would just be such a weird heel turn. Then again, you could make the solid argument that White making the heel turn to good so fast in the end of the the end of the 5th season was a bit abrupt. So I guess it wouldn't be too far off. But again, I think it's she's just having these bouts, and it would be interesting because maybe you could have it that Steven is like, is it me? Did I do this to her? She's my grandmother, technically. I drove my grandmother crazy. My mom started it, and I'm part of my mom, so yeah. I think that's what it is, because again, you do run into the whole thing of kids sometimes internalize and even blame themselves for that person's mental illness. So I think this could be a great way to explore it. But anyway, the watermelon Steven thing that crawled out of Akira, yeah, that thing looks terrifying. The 2 Lapises look interesting. Aquamarine, I knew that flying little fuckknuckle was going to be a bad guy. But what interests me is that Aquamarine looks like she's fused to somebody. I think it's one of the Rubies, either Eyeball or Navy. That cute little shit is probably who it is. I guarantee it's probably Navy Aquamarine fused with. Because you knew that little asshole could only get all the more smug if she's fused with that Ruby. Anyway. The 2 Lapises were interesting. I'm curious how they're going to play that out. And then we have this giant dragon centipede leviathan motherfucker in the back. And I guarantee that's probably going to be like the Unicron of this show. I guarantee that's going to be like the Unicron, or I wouldn't say Darkseid, but more like Unicron or Galactus that everyone's going to have to fight at the end of the show. Mark my words, that is exactly what's going to happen, is that they're all going to have to gang up to fight Serpent Terra Centipede Dragon thing. That's probably what it is. That's the final boss. But anyway, other than that, there wasn't a lot to talk about. It was cool to see the little gem village and all that, and all the crystal gems together. So yeah, I just wanted to talk. I think we all just wanted to sit down and talk about the antagonist thing. That was really what everyone was really chatting about, was all the antagonists. So, we got Jasper, we got a watermelon monster thing, we've got Pink Diamond possibly dealing with mental illness, not Pink Diamond, White Diamond dealing with mental illness, we've got 2 evil Lapises. I want to see Lapis take on 2 Lapises and show who is the greatest Lapis. It's Lapis. We also have a flying little piece of shit and a giant Serpent Terra looking motherfucker as the possibly and more than likely the final boss. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the intro for Steven Universe The Future? Did you guys like it, hate it? Are you guys excited or sad to see Steven Universe go after all this time? And what are your thoughts on the antagonists and all that? So just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.